And today we are going to look at rating some AI generated magic cards. That's right, we're back to the where we are here. There we go. Back to rating these insanely awkward, strange cards, and we're gonna find out. We're gonna act like R&D today, and we're gonna be the ones deciding if we should be printing these things are printable or not. And we're gonna start off with the Joyin of Power. Because for 1 black, we have a sorcery. Target player reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. That player puts that card onto the battlefield under your control. Then that player shuffles. What is going on here? This card is insane. It would actually be like way more fair, I think, if it was like, for example, only the opponent, not just you, but you can like stack your library with something like, I don't know, something like Brainstorm or Ponder. This card is just ridiculously busted. We're gonna put that little Emrakul or Griselbrand on top of our library, and then we're gonna Joyin of Power into it. I think they misspelled Joy of Power. What do you guys think? Ruben says, I see the Joker on the art. So yeah, some sort of, I think we see a 5-year-old's depiction of the Joker on the art. Bring back the Eldrazi. All right, so let's have a poll. Like, are we ship it or shred it? The Joyin of Power for 1 black. You heard of Demonic Consult. You heard of Polymorph. What is this even similar to? Nothing is like this for 1 mana. At least make them lose life equal to its power. Even still, it's still ridiculous. So we're R&D here today. It's as if we're getting random cards from other employees at Wizards of the Coast, and we have to judge if this thing is worth putting into the set. Oath of Druids is the closest? I guess you're right, yeah. It's Cascade. Yeah, 1 mana Polymorph. We don't have to destroy creatures, by the way. We just have to target ourselves. But wouldn't this be much more interesting if we had to target our opponents? Okay, I think the community has spoken. With only 17 votes, we're going to shred this stupid thing. Oh man, that's a little too powerful. Just a little too power. This AI was drunk on power today. Alright, our next one is the Raiding Boardross. A green and 1 generic. For a sliver! Ah, it's sliver. It does have a little sliverishness to it. It's like a sliver boar. 2/2 creature. So for 2 mana, the next time you would draw a card this turn, Raiding Boardross deals 2 damage to any target. Activate only during your turn, before attackers are declared. That's interesting that the AI is smart enough to actually balance this card out to do it before you attack, because if you could do this at any time, you know, maybe draw a card after the blocker step and then start killing things off. Maybe that would be unfair. And you actually have to pay 2 mana, so you have to sink something in here. It almost looks like a real card. The only thing that's wrong here is that it's a sliver, and all slivers should actually get this card. Every single sliver should get it. All right, ship it or shred it. It actually looks almost like a real card. Tommy says, this is pretty strong, so upkeep burn 2 to anything correct, including the opponent's face. So like late game, this thing's amazing. Early on in the game, it might be a little clunky because you probably want to play spells. I mean, you do always have the option to kill off like your opponent's creature. Ruben says it's fair. AI doesn't know what a sliver is, obviously. Obviously does not know. It was an old restriction from Portal 3 Kingdoms. They're bringing it back. AI has no preference. Anything can be in style. Remove the sliver and you can ship it. Now, not all I don't think all slivers affect all slivers, but most of them do. The art is not a sliver. AI got that wrong. It has some... It's like if a boar turned into a sliver. It's got the... I don't know. It's not a very soft-looking boar, is what I'm trying to say. Not a super green card, though. No, it has nothing to do with green whatsoever. It's good. Doesn't need to tap. Excellent. Okay, so a lot of you say ship it. All right, we're going to ship this card. So you're listening, R&D? The next set that we see, we need a Board Ross Sliver. Board Ross Sliver that deals damage. That's the deal here. Okay, we've got the Voldalion Revolution. By the way, I'm getting all these from Twitter, from the Twitter username RoboRosewaterM. Wonderful Twitter account for these. Love it. Green 1 generic 2/2 Human Shaman. And now it has flying. But as a kicker of 1 red and 1 generic, if a Voldalion Revolution was kicked, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each opponent you have. When Voldalion Revolution enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each elf you control. That is weird. Aren't the... Okay, I don't know the flavor very well, but isn't the Voldalion, like, water creatures? And it actually... I think the AI got the art pretty right here. I think they're in water, and there is some sort of revolution happening in this picture. You can pay 6 and do 6 damage off of 1 draw. No, oh, you're talking about the last one? The next time? I think it's... No, I think you can only do it once. Oh, maybe not. Maybe... Yeah, maybe you can activate it 1,000,000 times. That would be ridiculous. Azara says, goes right into my red-green shaman... human shaman elf EDH deck. There's going to be a little overlap between the human shamans and the elf shamans. For sure. The human flag. Make it white with mana kicker. What do you guys think? Ship it or shred it? This would actually be pretty busted and limited. Oh yeah, I'm sure a lot of these cards would be busted and limited. But you know what? It would be then our AI limited set. AI limited masters. Or, sorry, AI masters. I think it does too much for only 2 mana. Well, it's only 2... Okay, so it's 2 mana. If it doesn't kick, it's just a flying creature that enters the battlefield and you gain 2 life for each elf you control. Which you have to build your deck around that. Alright? How many elves are you going to put in your human shaman deck? So, I mean, if you put the elves in there... I think under most cases, the AI makes the art. I don't know where all the art comes from, though. There is a hashtag AI artwork. This has got to be a winner. It has flying. Oh, we've got the Millmaster 1776. Thank you so much. It's Peacekeeper Day. If you own any, they are like $50. Wow. $50 for Peacekeeper. Thanks so much, Millmaster. Unofficial sponsor of Coffee and MTG. This card would only be printed in a Commander product. They don't print each opponent on cards going through Standard. Are you sure about that? Maybe that's the case, maybe that's not. The flying is off for a green card. Ah, yes. Green cards are not allowed to have flying. What do you guys think? Oh, you don't like this card? The flavor is off? It looks like a pretty fair card to me. You can have like a counter for each opponent you have. 4 mana. It can be like a 5/5 flying creature. I think this is really fair. Whatever. I guess you just don't like the flavor. To the gallows! To the gallows with this one. Alright, we've got the Reaping... what is this? The Reaping the Temple of Nephades in Panic. It is an instant. A blue and 1 generic. Instant. Return target card from your graveyard to the battlefield. What is going on here? You know, forget the creature cards. We can get sorceries and instant cards from the graveyard to the battlefield. What they would do, I have no idea. And exile target, or alternatively, it is also an answer to following Reaper the Temple of Nephades in Panic, because you can exile target card from a graveyard. So it's like it can be used on offense, but it can also be used on defense. So you don't even need to sideboard versus the Reaping the Temple of Nephades in Panic metagame, because it is its own answer to, you know, someone else's card. Anyway, ship it or shred it. Any judges out there, am I allowed to, like, bring back an instant or sorcery card from the graveyard to the battlefield? Like, it's saying, like, normally it's specific, like, bring back a creature. But maybe if, like, this, maybe if it's an instant or sorcery, I'm not allowed to target it at all. And if I am allowed to target it, what happens when it enters the battlefield? It just does nothing. I have literally a lightning bolt sitting there, or a counter spell staring down my opponent that cannot attack or block. Oh my god, 2 instant blue reanimate with no downside. Oh no, the downside is that someone else who has this card can interact with you, because you try to reanimate your creature, and then all of a sudden they play their own Reaping the Temple of Nefades in Panic. They exile that card from the graveyard. It's perfectly balanced card. It's a perfectly balanced card. And Petri's like, get that card out of here. Kevy's like, one mode is clearly better than the other. It protect, it attack, but also it bring back. There we go. It will target my sorcery. Turn 2, reanimate my omniscience. Yeah, you can bring back enchantments as well. Enchant dead sorcery. It's a funny one. You know, these videos, these streams should be also a you laugh, you lose. If you laugh at any of these AI cards, you gotta let us know in the comment section below. Considering it balances itself out, I'd say we'd have to ship it. The community says no. It looks like we're gonna shred this one. Alright. Reaping the Temple of Nefades in Panic. You don't make the cut, unfortunately. I'd love to see you, though. Love to see you in play. We've got next the Foreboding Lighter. 6 mana, 3/4 creature. It's a spirit with trample, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 5/5 green elephant creature token. Good god, the elephant should be bigger than the bottle. I'm assuming the spirits are all in there. This looks like one of those. It's like one of the. What is it called when you like? You put a bunch of, like, I don't know, organic life in a bottle and then you seal it up and then you just let it grow. It looks like one of those things. The art is so cool, yes. We need Wizards of the Coast to commission more AI art. Metric system supremacy. This is also maybe a superior version of that, you could go in a commander deck with that merfolk that no one wants to open up in booster packs. Talarand. This is like a Talarand card. You can put that in your Talarand deck. You can make drakes and you can make some elephants. Who's in for some elephants? And I think it comes with a token too. Here's your elephant. Here's your 5/5 elephant tokens. The AI is smart enough to make some tokens as well. So where are we on this one? It's a common. Well, you know, yeah, I forgot that they also make the rarity for this thing. In the AI metagame, this is probably a common. This could be printed on Earth Day. Go green. I'd play this in Brudic Clad. Is that an actual card? With a Storm deck, wow. The token is beautiful. Yeah, this little elephant thing is very interesting. I need those tokens. Take a screenshot. Make tokens. The elephant token. It's a 5/5 though. Is there anything in this game that makes 5/5 tokens? It's usually a 3. I think it's usually 3/3, or maybe I'm thinking of like beasts. You'll be dead way before you can cast this or do something meaningful. Card's fine. All right. So looking at a very practical matter, I also think like Foreboding Lighter. Is this like a made-up word, or is there like an actual lighter, or did they mean litter? Lighter, L-I-T-R. I'm googling this. Oh, now I understand the metric system. A metric unit of capacity, formerly defined as the volume of 1 kilogram of water under standard conditions, now equal to 1,000 cubic centimeters. A lighter bottle of wine. Interesting. Oh no, it's liter. I feel so stupid, and I'm Canadian. I use this metric system. It's liter. I just didn't expect, like, Foreboding Lighter. I'm not expecting that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Kyle Driver with the $2. Amada Worm makes a 5/5 worm token. And now you can make some elephants. Thanks so much, Kyle Driver. Yeah, liter. Don't worry. There is no end to how much of an idiot I can look like on Coffee and MTG. We're shipping it! Chat approves. Alright, Foreboding Lighter. We're printing you. Alright, next up, we've got the talent ramp. We've got talent ramp. Blue, 1 generic for a 2/2 aura. Okay. Okay, that's some new design space there. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has lifelink. When talent ramp leaves the battlefield, shuffle your graveyard into your hand. What? Oh God, what? We get to draw our graveyard. Now that is design space we have never heard before. This looks a lot like, what is this? It resembles the bestow creatures. You could enchant a creature or it could be a creature by itself. So it's just an evolution of bestow. But this last part just takes it like, we just went from 0 to 100 in a fraction of a sentence. We can shuffle our graveyard into our hand. Love how we can shuffle it, as if that's even necessary. Hey, ship it or shred it. What kind of decks would play this thing? You do have to build up a graveyard first. I bet at worst case scenario it is a grizzly bear. Shuffle your hand, only spikes can play this card. Those that like to shuffle the hands. The casual players are gonna absolutely hate this. Because you have to shuffle basically you're shuffling your hand, right? Jesus AI, go home, you're drunk. Seems decent in Bogles. I guess so. It is hilarious. We've lost the you laugh, you lose. That's why it has 2/2, so you can lightning bolt it. Oh yeah, so it leaves the... If it was just an aura, it would be too hard to enable. No, this would go into some sort of graveyard sacrifice deck, I imagine. So you could play this, sack it, and then pick up your entire graveyard. And then you get talent ramp back too. You just get to keep regurgitating talent ramp. Jace deck go vroom. Yeah, it's an enchantment with 2. Yeah, it's a 2/2 aura creature. Does this classify as a creature that you can kill? Maybe it isn't. Maybe like it's so awkwardly worded. Like it's like a 2/2 aura that can live independently on its own. I like how the lifelink is what people object to in this card. Oh, I totally forgot that it had lifelink. I mean, this whole I remember the +2/+2 part, the aura part, the lifelink. I just completely forgot that it even existed. Doesn't even exist to me. This is a close one, but people want to shred it. I think that's the right thing to do. This is clearly over the board bonkers. Shuffle your graveyard into your hand. You kidding me? Man. If Wizards of the Coast takes anything from AI generated cards, we're going to see like a Modern Horizons 3.0 like none other. Alright, Angel of Chains. In the Grixis colors, it's a legendary creature, so it can be your commander. Flying Trample. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a tapped 3/3 colorless Frexian Imp Mountain and Warrior creature token if you do draw a card. Yes. Finally! Creature types can be basic land types. I wonder, can we fetch those out of our library? Look for a mountain card. Because, okay, I mean, this is not a mountain itself, but imagine creatures that had basic land types, like Dragon Island, or Mountain Goblin, or something like that. And all of a sudden we could fetch because it just says like mountain or island card, right? I'm not crazy. I'm pretty sure that when you fetch something, hold on, let's confirm. Let's look up Scalding Tarn. Just out of curiosity. There's some design space here. Pay 1, sacrifice Scalding Tarn, search your library for an island or mountain card. Not a land, just a card. We just need the card here. Anyway, very interesting. Ship it or shred it. And if you do, hold on, we aren't even done here. If you do, discard a card. Alright, so there's some downside. So ideally, you're empty-handed as you're casting your artifacts. Yeah, you could, yeah, Forest Dryad. That's right, we already have one. But it was already a land. I'm just imagining, what if there's like a regular creature? I guess that's the closest it is. Hold on, is Dryad Arbor a land? Dryad Arbor. I'm just thinking a creature with just the... See, it's a land creature. You know what I'm saying? What if it's just a creature with creature type forest? I mean, Forest Dryad, but... I don't need to hear anything from you, Siri. Siri's trying to help us. Siri's getting excited because we're talking about artificial intelligence today. Yeah, it's a summoning stick land that is green. That's completely broken. Fetch a land for a creature to the field. 2 broken. Okay, so anyway, back to the card. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you know, we're creating a tap 3/3 colorless Frexian Imp, and then we have to discard a card. You might deplete your hand of cards. Unless you can, like, just place cards from the top of your deck like crazy. Michael loves democracy, and that it's a voting system. I think the token would tap for red, because anything that is a mountain can. Ooh! So maybe we're creating artifacts that can tap for... mana. Are there any judges that are getting excited over these cards? Like how you're using mental gymnastics to make them work in an actual game of Magic? Yeah, stuff like Mishra's Bauble. Oh yeah, Thought Monitor would be great. So you discard upon cast. So let's say you're empty-handed, you cast the Thought Monitor, you don't lose anything, then you draw the cards, then you can start playing the cards again. Is this one abomination of a creature or 4 different 3/3 creatures? I don't know. Alright, we're shipping it! Coming to a commander deck near you. We're gonna ship it. Angel of Chains. You are approved by the Council of Coffee. The Council of Coffee approves. Alright, next we've got Sugarcane with the Super Chat. Ship the Angel of Chains. That is a dragon. Or was it? It is a dragon. That is a very nasty looking dragon too. Alright, next up. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sugarcanes. I appreciate you. Frexian Imp Mountain Warrior. Oh, this is the token it makes. The Frexian Imp Mountain and Warrior. You gotta include the and in there. Alright, Chalks. Yeah, double white, 1 blue, 2 generic for a 4/4 Hyalop. Yeah, you gotta show respect for the Hyalop tribal creatures out there. Your opponents can't cast spells from graveyards. This is actually a very reasonable ability to have on a creature. Chalks escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh! So, the opponents can't use your graveyards, but we can use our own. This is like the Fairy Time Raveler all over again. Non-creature spells cost 2 more to cast. This is like a complete anti-combo card. And pay 1 white... prevent the next X damage that would be dealt to target player or planeswalker where X is its mana value. You could protect you can protect other people. This is crazy. It's an anti-combo card, although you can still combo yourself. How does it escape? I don't know. You escape it with the what was it much earlier on? With a talent ramp. No, not talent ramp, sorry. The Reaping the Temple of Nephades and Panic. You're gonna play those in the same deck. What is my mana value? Damn, just the non-creature effect makes it like too good. It's a great prison card. It's very hard to remove too. Yeah, it's a 4/4 creature. Forget your fatal pushes. Forget your lightning bolts. How does the last ability work? Players don't have mana cost. Prevent the next X damage that would be dealt to target player planeswalker where X is its mana value. Oh yeah. I don't know. Oh, maybe you just pay the mana value of the source? And it just it prevents all the damage. Like it doesn't really make sense, but that's the best way to make it make sense. If you're a spike, your mana value, or are we talking about target player or planeswalker? I think it's Prevent next damage that would be dealt to target player or planeswalker, where X is the mana value. I'm assuming X is the mana value of the damage source. But that's all I'm assuming. Yeah, Ghost Beard agrees. This is a really neat card. I mean, you take out the escape part and maybe reword the prevent damage thing, and I think it would sort of work. What the hell does escape do? Nothing. But if it escapes, if there's any cards that make this escape, it's going to come into play with a +1/+1 counter on it. All right, we are shipping it. Shipping chalks. Neat card. Chaos Lord, as if this game, these cards aren't chaotic enough. Double blue, 3 generic, instant. Each player shuffles all permanents they own into their library, then draws 7 cards. That's absolutely a card that would get banned in Commander. It would be banned on site. They don't like those cards. Each player shuffles all permanents they own into their libraries and draw 7 cards. How do Commander players even feel about this? Resets the game for 5 mana, more or less. Life totals stay the same. Hendra says we need it. Instant speed, end of turn. Everything that you did, it's wiped off the board. We're going back, and I get turn 1. It's upheaval. It should have been renamed something like this: Upheaval of Twister. Bully EDH players. Upwheel all. Yeah, what's the best name to combine Time Twister and Upheaval in the same card? Oh no, it doesn't say non-land permanents. No, it's just shuffle all permanents. You put it all back, and then basically end of the person to your right, you play a Chaos Lord, and then all of a sudden you've got turn 1. It's a much cheaper Upheaval at instant speed. I think we all draw 7 cards though. Each player shuffles all perms they own into their library, then draws 7 cards, if I understand this correctly. Yeah, instant speed too. Also, it doesn't say hand. Oh, each player shuffles all permanents they own into their... Oh, it goes into your library! Yeah, but then you draw 7 cards, so it's all good. It doesn't say hand? You mean like draw it? Like draw... I don't think it needs to say draw cards into your hand. The art in Chaos Lord is the AI self-portrait. Yeah, staring us down. Nekit says, I'm a Commander player and I love it. There's no way would they print this? It's not like your life total goes to 1 or anything like that. Ruben says, it's not that bonkers. Maybe up the mana cost. Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, you could get this out really, really early. You could, in theory... I guess though, hold on, no, okay, so you can't, you're gonna draw a random 7 card. You are basically just taking turn 1 all over again at different life totals. I'm against anything that makes the game take longer, especially in Commander. Well, the life totals aren't going longer. Okay, ship it! Chaos Lord is approved by the Council of Coffee. Yeah, the AI self-portrait. Sultai Elder, black 1 generic. And a white for a 2/5 human wizard. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player controls more lands than you, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into their hand, then shuffle. This actually looks like a very real card. But would anyone play it? All of a sudden, this is pretty underpowered. Well, you know what? It's a 2/5 creature for 3 mana. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Sultai is not white. Flavor fail. Man, you flavor judges are really harsh and hardcore. You're ruthless, relentless. I don't even know the difference whenever there's a flavor fail. I swear I've seen something similar. Color, what, Orzhov? Color recognition needed? Feels like it should be green-white. Yeah, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player controls more lands than you, so you can get a lot of basic lands and put it into their hand. What? Oh my god. So hold on, I didn't even read it properly. So we get to search our library for a basic land card. Well, how does this work? Okay, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player controls more lands than you, search your library. So we're going to search our library for a basic land card, reveal it, and give it to them. Oh my god, this does not benefit us whatsoever. Put it into their hand. Alright, so we're searching. Insane. Oh yeah, okay, it's for the group hug players who want to like give other people. But it's a rich get richer card. Because if they have more lands than you, then you give them even more lands. You know, we shouldn't assume that this card would work exactly how we think it should work. We have to read the fine print on these AI cards. Put a fake basic in your deck, donate it to your opponent, call a judge to have them lose the game. Judge! I think this card has a big ass typo. It's like it's like a land tax. Ah, funny card. Alright, you guys say ship it. I think you're saying ship it based on our other interpretation, but okay. Pyro Thicken Teacher. Gonna teach you something. We got Mardu Human Shaman, a 3/3 creature with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Pyro Thicken Teacher. It's a thick teacher out there. Remove a +1/+1 counter from Pyro Thicken Teacher. Pyro Thicken Teacher deals 3 damage to any target. Whoa! Turns into... So basically every landfall is a lightning bolt. This is crazy. This is a crazy card. I could see this being printed though. I think that the landfall... It's a hard card to build around because Mardu is not the great... I don't think it's the greatest for landfall because you don't have green, so you're not putting extra cards into play or anything like that. And as chat votes on this, we gotta thank we have to be thanking our sponsors today, starting with FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget, you can pre-order Dominaria United. Wonderful new set. You know, it's gonna have Urza, it's gonna have Karn. You see Karn already there in the picture. And deal of the week this week, save 15% off all core set singles. That, you know, including 3rd edition, that was a core set. Underground Sea, Tropical Island, Volcanic Island. A lot of islands in that set. Basic Island. 15% off at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu, though, at checkout. Because if 15% off is enough, you get an additional 5% off all your purchases. And we're gonna thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Your ability to play any deck, any format you want, anytime. Pauper, Modern, Commander, they've got it all for you. And when you're done with one deck, just ship it back and rent a new one. You could support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_9Y6. And now, back to Pyro Thicken Teacher. What's the jury on this thing? So you can play 5 colors on a landfall deck easily. Yeah, it's not a legendary creature. You can jam this into your landfall deck. This plus Valakut plus Dryad of the Elysian Grove equals stonks. Collected Company would like this, probably. Yeah, fetch lines would be brutal. So play it fetch, get 2 counters on it, basically attack for 5. I mean, the counters stack, and then at any moment you can start dealing damage. Fetching bolts. This needs to be legendary. Oh yeah! You could have multiple of these on the battlefield at one time. So you could have like, well, okay, not in a commander game, but in a regular game of Magic. Would this see Modern play? It being black makes no sense. Black deals damage. Usually at the cost of something. Doesn't this go infinite with Curse of Stalked Prey? Curse of Stalked Prey. Oops. I don't know what this is. Enchant player, whenever a creature deals combat damage to enchanted player, put a counter on that creature. Yeah! That would go infinite. Easy infinite. You mean in a real game? Yeah, a real game of Magic. Not funsy pony stuff. Yeah, this is it's an infinite combo that happened 5 seconds ago. Curse is combat damage. All right, you guys like it though. You know, as R&D, this is going to pass in the AI Masters. So the Coffee Crew approves. All right, next up we've got Vein Mash Sliver, another sliver, but isn't actually like a sliver in the creature type. Blue 3 generic for 3/3 legendary human wizard avatar. Sliver creatures you control have flying. We already have that for like 1 blue. And for 1 blue, and I'm talking about like, what's it called? Flying Sliver or Wing Sliver? For 1 blue, target human permanent leaves the battlefield. It's a spell. Target human permanent. What? Target human permanent leaves the battlefield. It's a spell. So it's basically... it's not necessary to say it's a spell anymore, but it basically exiles humans for 1 blue. Yeah, it's slightly worse to Glade. Well, it exiles it exiles humans. For 1 blue, it's gone. Just in time for the humans metagame. How many humans are in this? We know humans is like the most popular creature type. Make a human spell so you can counter it. Target human permanent leaves the battlefield. It's gone. I think it just... No! It's gone! Do not return it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to jail. It can exile itself. Yeah, permanently. It won't come back. So if you try to kill it, it's like, no. I'm going out on my own terms. I'm going out on my own terms. Doesn't give itself flying. Yeah, I know. It's like quite a crappy sliver. It's like the maybe this is the original sliver, or the thing that makes all slivers. Hey Kiko, good morning. Does your opponent count as a human permanent? I don't think so. Protection from control magic, nice. Where does that permanent go? Well, it leaves the battlefield. Oh yeah, it just leaves the battlefield. Doesn't maybe it went somewhere else. We can go to the graveyard. So maybe do we get to choose where it goes? So it could go to the library, it could go to the graveyard, you could go to exile, you could go to your hand. It just does not stay on it just has to leave the battlefield. Maybe it's a spell means they can cast it again. So it just goes back on the stack. Leaves the battlefield. Yeah, target permanent goes on the stack. Ooh, does that change anything? That would help ETBs. That would also give it the room to get countered again. It goes into my pocket. Goes into the goes back to the local game store. It's still there, but leaves the battlefield trigger. It's really awkwardly worded, but, well, the crew of Coffee does not approve. All right, we're shredding this one. I think it's an interestingly designed card. What is this? Wind Red Angel is a enchantment angel for 5 colorless mana. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. If you do, destroy target creature with power less than or equal to the number of creatures you control. What sweet, merciful... This is, it's like Replenish, but all you need to do is put a creature onto the battlefield. So you put a creature on the battlefield, and boom, everything comes back. It's like Dredge, but then when Dredge brings all their creatures back, it like kills something on your opponent's side. If you wipe out anything, I just need to put 1 creature onto the battlefield, and boom, we're back in business. This is like really overpowered today. Mass, reanimate, and murder. Absolutely broken. Yes, it's a common. Pauper! Give power to the Pauper format. Pauper is a format again. Even opponent creature ETB triggers. I am Wrigglers. Just get a sack engine. Well, you don't need it. just put the onus on your opponents to kill your creatures, and if they do, you just play one creature and bring it all back again. Doesn't this happen every time you play a creature? Yeah, okay, so whenever a creature enters the battlefield, return all creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield, which, okay, if you have 0, whatever, and then if you do, destroy target creature. So I think we need to bring at least one creature back from the graveyard to the battlefield, and destroy target creature with power less than or equal to the number of creatures you control. Okay, so if we reanimate one creature from the graveyard, pachoo, pachoo, pachoo. This looks like a playable pauper card. It doesn't even sack itself afterward. No, it's just an enchantment. It's a colorless enchantment, just sits there. Oh, read the flavor text. There is flavor text. We are going to the story cap of the strange, razor filth of its enemies, in sat screaming, I am Wrigglers. Make the opponent Wriggler. Ship it! We're gonna ship this one. It's a fun build-around card. But holy crap, will this card like cascade into... It will cascade into bad things. What is going on here? It's Sportin of the War. Sportin of the War, legendary creature, Viashino Shaman, for 0 mana. We gotta get our cascade spells out if we want this 23/29 creature. I think this would make it officially the largest creature in the game. And you can make, can you make that, well, I guess you can make this your, can you make this your commander? Is there any way of casting this? When Sportin of War enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then put a number of loyalty counters on Sportin of War equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on target permanent or planeswalker. So you can make this thing a planeswalker in addition to its to being a creature. -3. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. So how on earth do you get this thing into play? So you could cascade this. Yeah, it's an easy cascade target. As if Crashing Footfalls needed more busted free cards. So we're going to cascade this into play. It's a 23. It can win by itself, by the way. It doesn't need... So you're going to draw 3 cards and we get a number of loyalty counters equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on target permanent or planeswalker. So we get... So if we have like a Hydra with 9 counters on it, we could then put like 9 loyalty on this thing. It like turns into a planeswalker. Can it just not be cast and has to be moved in? No. If it needs to have a casting cost to cast it, but if it has no casting cost, then the mana value would be 0. Oh! Oh! Aether Vial would go to like $200. $200! You just turn one Aether Vial, put Sportin of War into play. What gets banned first, Sportin of War or Aether Vial? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is crazy. Aether Vial with this thing. Because you could just turn 1, play Aether Vial, and then tap. You may put a creature card with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on the Aether Vial from your hand onto the battlefield. And just like, boom! We play the Sportin of War. Modern Horizons 3 spoiler. This is like Modern Horizons 56. I mean, Magic could get to this point. It really could one day. Modern Horizons 56. I mean, this is the real future sight right here. Best colorless commander. Modern bans enabled. Yeah. Aether Vial has gotten out of control, so we're banning this instead of Sportin of War. Man, this is a crazy card. Oh, we haven't even started voting on it. Ship it or shred it. Unearth is nice too, if you can get into the graveyard, of course. Why do you need Aether Vial to cast it? Because like, you can't, if it doesn't have, so based on the rules of Magic, if it doesn't have a casting cost, you cannot cast it. So it's like, Asmorano Mardica Dasna Kuldakar. It needs to have a casting cost to cast it, although, I can't remember what the alternative for, Asmarano is. Can't remember. But, you know, you can cheat in play. So same thing with Asmarano. You can, like, put into play for 0 with Aether Vial. I believe, right? Asmarano. Yeah, as long as you've discarded a spell this turn, you can pay a red or a black to cast a spell. But it has a she has a mana value of 0. So we can put this in play for 0 with Aether Vial. Would be very interesting include in an Aether Vial deck. Really interesting. Design space no one's tried yet. Really interesting stuff. All right, no, I'm surprised so many people. You guys are degenerate. You guys are really degenerate. You want to print this thing? Let's see. Ghostly Pride is our next card. Black, 4 generic, 3/3 creature, flying, green, 1 generic. Look at target creature. All right, just stare it down. Ghostly Pride. I guess it's a dwarf, though. At first, I thought it was going to be like a ghost. If it was a spirit, that'd be very interesting, because spirits, you know, they just float around and just look at things. So we have a black flying dwarf, and we get to look at a creature. Just look at it. Just stare it down. Ship it. Shred it. Kills Phantasmal Image. Oh yeah, it does. That's really, really niche, but sure. Piotr says, interesting. I always thought that this is caused by the text on the Asmarano card. We learn new lessons every day. That's right. Can you stare at it forever and force a draw? I don't think so. This is like an unglued set, like a mechanic. You pay mana, look at target creature. Maybe in this version, like, you're not allowed to pick up your opponent's cards. So somewhere deep in the future, you have to pay mana to actually read your opponent's cards from across the table. It's anti-illusion tech. The illusions are scared of ghosts. Ghostly Pride. Look at target creature. Think we could look at flip side of a morph creature? Oh, yeah, probably. You guys have so much imagination. You guys in chat surprise me every time. When you're not doing anything in a bad matchup and all you can do is watch. How does this work with morph? I think you should be able to look at the morph creature, what's going on underneath. What you got going on over there, huh? What are you trying to morph into play? And what else? And maybe foretell cards. Oh no, but I think foretell cards aren't creatures. Yeah, oh, the value. Make no mistake, it's a decent limited card. 3/3 flyer. It's not bad. It's not terrible. You need an enchantment that hides all creatures like face down monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! So like basically everything is hidden face down, and then only you can know what's going on. It's better than that one red card, bash open, crack open. Alright, you guys don't like it. This is a perfectly legitimate card with a very awkward ability. Alright, it's shredded though. To the gallows. To the gallows. Okay, we got Lava, Great's Call. This is a temple creature planeswalker. Red, 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 blue. Some Izzet players are very excited right now. For loyalty. So lay until end. Okay, so lay until end of turn. Whatever lay is, that's some ability. This is a mechanic that's not explicitly explained here. You may cast your secret spells from the top of your library. This is just leaking all sorts of new mechanics. You may cast your secret spells from the top of your library. Maybe this is like a separate library. Okay, so +1, Lava Great's Call deals X damage to any target where X is half the first named slapper with IS counter on it. I feel like we need a lot. There's a lot of gaps that need to be filled in when reading this card. And we can tap this thing. Remove a loyalty counter from Lava. Draw a card. So it's like it has two abilities, because loyalty abilities are basically tap abilities, right? You can only use it once per turn. So we can use our loyalty ability, and we can also tap it to draw a card. So we tick it up, deal damage, where X is half the first name Slapper with an IS counter on it. Very niche, yes, I know, but sometimes you have to, you're gonna have Slapper cards with IS counters on it in the metagame. Richie Dub says, is this a Pokemon? Alright, ship it or shred it. At the very least, we get to draw a card each turn by tapping it. At the very least, without any cost to its loyalty. That part we can understand. Ron John says, this card is amazing. King Ginger likes the idea. It says it's a creature and doesn't have a toughness. Dies immediately. Maybe that's the name. So the name could be Temple Creature. Because remember, it's a Planeswalker and then it's a name attached to the Planeswalker. Because this is the... Judges! Come on, judges, speak up here. I believe the card type is Legendary Planeswalker. And then the creature, the Planeswalker name is Temple Creature. So when this Planeswalker comes, its first name is Temple, last name Creature. Hello, Mr. Creature. Where's Temple at? Actually, these should be all the same, right? It should be like Lava Great's Call, also Lava Great's Call. Whatever, I don't know how to explain this. The Temple is sentient. Garbage card that literally does nothing. Why are we even spending time on this? Go to the next one, please. Yes, no creature. Steam Flogger Slapper? Is there such a card called Steam Flogger Slapper? Come on, let's look up Slapper. No, there's no slappers in the game. No slappers in the metagame, as far as I can see. There's not a single card with slapper in its name. Not yet. Not a single card yet. Anyway, you guys want to ship it? There's gonna be some great cards out there in the future. Those slapper cards. The slapper mechanic, when it comes out, you better be prepared. Wings of Festivity. That's a nice name, actually. Black, 3 generic for an enchantment, which is flavorful. You're gonna give something wings. It's a rare. Switch the power of target creature card in your graveyard. Gains tap. This creature gets +1/+7 until end of turn. So switch the power of target creature card in your graveyard. This sentence, unfortunately, doesn't really make any sense. This creature gets +1/+7 until end of turn. I don't even know what we're enchanting. Are we enchanting a creature in the graveyard? Or are we enchanting a creature in play and then giving something in our graveyard +7/+7? A creature in your graveyard. Yeah, I think this is what it means. We are buffing the graveyard. Oops. In the year 2052, the war is fought on the battlefield and also in the graveyard. The graveyard is also another battlefield. That's some interesting design space if you think about it. Creatures going into the graveyard fight an alternate battle in the graveyard. And then you have to buff the creatures in the graveyard. Tapping creatures in graveyards, yes. Colin says it's just a bad card. Bad design. Graveyard buff will be great in Modern. Slap it! It's slapping. It sounds like a white, red, or green card. I don't know. Well, it deals with the graveyard, so I think it should be black. Alright, we're shredding it. Goodbye. Wings of Festivity. Timber Knight. White, 1 generic. 4/4 creature. Oh no, the energy mechanic's coming back. We can't interact with that. Timber Knight enters the battlefield. You get 2 energy. When Timber Knight attacks, exile the top card of target player's library. We're not even using the energy for anything. But it enables energy... Like, energy decks suck because the cards themselves are not very good. But this could rebuild energy while still being a 4/4 creature. And then you exile the top card of target player's library. So I guess you slowly mill them away. Or if they put anything on top of their deck, you can exile it, so... Sounds like a red or green card. And it's a beast. I think this is fair. Timber Knight is a beast. I don't know, Siege Rhino slaps. It's a beaver? I can barely see it in there. This is close to being fair. I'd ship it. It's the first functional card we've seen in a while. Despite the fact that, you know, the energy is completely pointless. Well, it'll enable an energy deck, for sure. But I think that the thing, like was mentioned earlier, it would be better if it was in green or red, because those are like where most of the energy cards are. So you're gonna have to splash white in your energy deck. And it's a heavy splash too, the double white. 3 mana for a 4/4 with only upside, says Sparky. We found the slapper. Slap it! Ooh, 88%. We're shipping it. All right. Timber Knight passes. Morgiver Giant. Blue, 3 generic for 3/3 creature. Voldalion Wizard. Affinity for untapped lands you control. If a player casts a spell, draw a card. Ooh. So hold on, affinity for a land. So basically, if in an affinity deck, basically anything is free. So if you have untapped lands, you get to play your cards for free. That's crazy. And only the colorless part, right? Now, the hard part is getting this in play. But I guess in an affinity deck, it won't be too hard. You'll just ramp into this thing. And Petri's like, shred immediately, broken. It's rare, so don't worry. Don't worry, Popper, you're safe. Came on my commander. A finish for, and then whenever a player casts a spell, I mean, you are a player, so you also get to draw cards. So there's like a point where you just draw your entire deck and just hope you don't brick into too many lands. Draws a million cards and it's free. It's all free. Okay, that's broke as F in Commander. On turn 3, this is like 2 mana. You can easily get this thing out by like turn 2, right? Easy turn 2. Even turn 1 in some cases, if you have enough. Oh, it's legendary creature, so I mean, you could play that Jeweled Lotus, I think. Get this thing in play by turn 1. No, but you need lands. Okay, you do need to get the lands in play, people, so you can't just cheat this in play. You can't cheat this in play with artifacts and get affinity for untapped lands you control. WTF, that is that artwork though. It's a Voldalion Wizard. Maybe I think it might be this. There might be some individual here, and everything else is, I don't know. It's a party. It's a part. This is what happens when wizards have parties. Gets wild. You need 5 lands. 2, you must pay the blue. If you tap to play it, does affinity still work? If you tap to play it. Oh, I see. So it's only affinity for this particular creature. If you tap to play it, does affinity? Yes, it does. So you can pay. So if you have 3 untapped lands, you just pay 2 blue, and then you're good. Anyway, very interesting design. Ooh, it's close, but we're shipping it. The giant. I might have misread this card. Affinity for, I think it's, yeah, it's just affinity for this creature. At first I thought it was also affinity for all future cards that you draw. It's just affinity for that creature. Yeah, you could get it out easily turn 1 and then just start drawing cards. But you also might help your opponents draw cards too. But each time you tap for blue, you lose 1 affinity. Oh, that's true. Maybe not. I think when I declare casting it, do you know what? Okay, that's a good question. I think it would still count, because if I were to pay the, let's say it has affinity for untapped lands. First you declare the spell to cast. Let's say I have 3 untapped lands. Then the game would just ask me pay 2 blue, and I would just pay 2 blue and it's cast. I think that's how it would work. Okay, Planeswalkers accomp life. Because they need to be accomplished in life. 4 mana for artifact. Pay 3, tap, reveal a creature card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand. Exile it. I'm assuming they mean exile Planeswalkers accomp life. This is like a very... it looks like a card that could be printed. It's 7 mana to get a creature card from outside the game and put it into your hand. It almost makes sense. I mean, yes, I think literally it says exile the card you fetch. I guess you can go find like Mist Hollow Griffin or what's it called? Scourge of... There's like an Eldrazi Scourge. 7 mana, exile your sideboard, Dees. Wouldn't work in Commander, thus bad card. So in competitive, it's a 4 mana artifact to get any creature from your sideboard, I think. It's like a very bad card in the Great Creator. The worst possible Living Wish. I assume it means it should be we should be exiling Planeswalkers a comp life. I really don't think they've accomplished anything if this is the card. When you exile a creature card from your hand, you win the game. Oh god. Get Squee, then cast him from exile. There are quite a few creatures you can cast from exile. Yeah, the Unliving Wish. You just pay 3 to show any card you own to your opponent. No, come on, you can get a few cards. Like, what can we get with this card? All right, put your thinking caps on. We can get Squee. Which one? This is a great one. There we go. We can get Squee the Immortal. We can get Mist Hollow Griffin. Or sorry, I think it's something Mist Hollow. Yeah, oh, it was Griffin. Mist Hollow Griffin. You may cast Mist Hollow Griffin from exile. You can also get some Scourge. There's an Eldrazi Scourge. Eternal Scourge. There we go. You may cast Eternal Scourge from exile. This is a lot of work to get a creature card into play. This is like the most work ever. But I mean, it's coming. It's gonna be there permanently. So we can actually have a toolbox of these things. We'd have Eternal Scourge, Mist Hollow Griffin, Squee the Immortal, Torrent Elemental. Look at the toolbox. The AI was thinking right. Put Torrent Elemental from exile onto the battlefield. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. There you go. The AI was not fooling us. And it looks like we're shipping it. People like it. Beautiful. I like it too. I like the design. There's some design. It's a very awkward design, but, you know, there's maybe something there. All right. That's it for Coffee and MTG today. Thank you so much for sharing this morning with me. I really appreciate it. And if you want to be part of the show, part of the conversation, be here 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Weekdays, be there or be square. Thank you so much, everyone who became a member, and for all the super chats. You show me that you love Coffee and MTG, that it's worth supporting, and I got to be here every day for. And as usual, I'm going to thank all of you for being here, not being here in person, being there on the replay, because it's not me. I'm not the show. You guys are the show. Without all of you, we wouldn't be having nearly as much fun. So keep brewing up those coffees, and hopefully those AIs are going to keep brewing up magic cards, and keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you at the next brew.